Okay. Where's the phone? All right. All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm David Jones. I will be the acting sergeant at arms tonight. Tonight, we're going to have a regular meeting, but we're also going to throw in a table topics contest to send the contestants to the area contest. And if they win there, they go to division contest. If they win there, they go to district contest. Can't hear me? Well, the microphone, FYI, is for Zoom only. So we have to project in this room. We got the HVAC in the back, which is very noisy. I think it just shut off. We got lucky. So whenever you're up here, just project. This is simply for Zoom because we record all the meetings too. And with that, bathrooms are behind us. Men's on the left, women's on the right, and food and drinks in the back. And with that, I'm going to go ahead, just since he sat down, and introduce our presiding officer, Eric Laxer.
Thank you, David. Good evening, everybody. What a nice full house here of beautiful people. Welcome to our club and welcome to our meeting. Raise your hand if you've never been to a Toastmasters meeting before. Fantastic, a handful of people. So tonight's meeting is a little different than our normal meeting because we're having a speech contest, and Toastmasters holds speech contests several times a year. And the contests start with the clubs. We're one of 80 or 90 clubs in Western North Carolina. And then if you win at your club level, you keep advancing in competition. And it's a very exciting part of being in Toastmasters. It's all voluntary. If you want to participate in the contests, you can. And we have one of our contests, which you'll be seeing tonight. That'll happen toward the beginning part of our evening. And then toward the later part of our evening, we're actually going to do part of what we usually do every week. One of our members is going to give a speech, and then somebody's going to evaluate his speech. And then we have somebody who does an evaluation of our meeting. So it's a great evening to be with us. We're delighted that you all have joined us. One of the customary things that we do before each meeting, because we all like to get to know each other just a little bit better, we give our guests an opportunity to let us know who they are, how they found us. And in order to do that, I'm going to call upon the one and only VP of Membership. Give it up for Toastmaster Colin. They didn't hear me. I said, give it up for Toastmaster Colin. All right.
Good evening, Queen City. No. There's too many people in the house tonight. That volume level ain't going to hunt. Let's try that one more time. Good evening, Queen City. All right, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I'll give that a B minus. B minus. Well, welcome to Queen City Toastmasters, the original public speaking and confidence laboratory in Charlotte. We've been around since 1420. So we know what we're doing. Actually, we've been around for about 70 years. So we're the oldest one in Charlotte. A lot of storied history in this club. If you want to be the best, you come here. So it's great to see so many new faces out tonight. I'm going to come around with the microphone. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. The first of which is going to be your name. Second is going to be where you're from. And third is what brought you out. So we'll start right here in the front with this handsome devil right here.
Hello, everyone. Oh, okay. My name is Marlon Rigo. I'm her father. Yasmin's dad. She dragged me out here by force, as you can see. Originally from New York City. Been here about since '08. I like it. It's not bad. Um, uh, that's about it.
All right.
I'm keeping it simple.
All right. Yeah. I knew I liked you when I laid eyes on you. Now I know why. All right, we're gonna come here to the back. What's your name, sir?
Should I stand?
Please.
How you guys doing? My name is Wes Wright. How you doing? I'm originally from Bronx, New York. Live in Charlotte now. Been here for 2.5 years. I own TimeSpark, which is an AI-powered automation software. Fancy way of saying I help businesses integrate with AI. My partner and I were having a conversation about getting better at speaking. So here I am.
Awesome. All right, seeing as we got the New York refugees in the house tonight, where's the best bagel in Charlotte? Best bagel.
I don't know. I don't eat bagels very much.
Whoa. That's how they kicked you out of New York, huh? All right.
How you doing, guys? My name is Micah Massey. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wes and I are business partners. As you mentioned, we own TimeSpark. That's with a Q. We are here to help integrate anyone's business, but at the same time, learn to be more effective speakers. So hopefully, we'll learn what we need to learn here and become more effective at what we're attempting to accomplish.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Sound pretty polished to me. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hassan Abdi. I'm originally from Springfield, Massachusetts. So from up north by like 11-hour drive, pretty far. We're brought me up here. I've been actually living in Charlotte for about 6 months. I've been in North Carolina for about a year. So I like it so far. All right, what was the last question? What brought me up? I came before and I liked it a lot. So I wanted to come out whenever I had a chance to come back. I decided to come, which was today. So basically come back to, again, improving my public speaking, being able to just kind of hone on that skill and get better. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Carrie and I've lived a handful of places, but I've been in Charlotte for about 2 years. Grew up in central Pennsylvania, and I am here because I want to get more comfortable talking to a room full of people. So.
All right, we've got a really special guest in the house tonight. After more than 2 years of being a member of this club, my wife is here for the first time. Now, she's never been outwardly skeptical, but part of me has always wondered if you thought I had a woman on the side or something. I'm so flaky in so many areas of my life, but Toastmasters has been one of the more consistent ones. So I'm thinking it probably has seemed a little bit suspicious, but super delighted to have you out tonight. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Stifler. I am originally from Washington State. Obviously, we live in Charlotte now, and I'm here to support Colin as he does his speech tonight. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Ruben Sanchez. I've lived in Charlotte for about 4 years now. I believe that the quality of our lives is determined by our relationships, and our relationships are strongly determined by how well we communicate. So I want to be better at that, and that's why I'm here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ebony Stubbs. I am originally from Greensboro, which is about an hour north of here. I've been in Charlotte since '04, and I had an opportunity to attend a few times last year. Appreciated the energy of the group. So looking forward to also develop my presentation skills and getting better at speaking impromptu.
What about you, sir?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tavares James. I come by way of Raleigh, but I'm from Virginia Beach. What Why did I come to Toastmasters? I came to Toastmasters because I'm a salesman, right? So I wanted to get better at sales, but I also wanted to get better at communication because I also teach individuals here in Charlotte as well. So I have a classroom where I teach individuals who are struggling with different obstacles in their life. So it was a better way for me to be able to communicate better with people and to be more value service to other people. And I thought Toastmasters would be a great place where I can network, meet some people, and bring some value here as well. So that's why I'm here.
Hello, everyone. I am Michael Alston. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. However, Charlotte has been home forever. So I'm here, Toastmasters, first time here, just to kind of hone in on public speaking skills in general, meet some new people in the Charlotte area, and also, well, as I said before, hone in on those public speaking skills. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Wade. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Been here for almost 20 years, and I am an accountant. So I'm here to improve my verbal skills as we don't speak a whole lot as accountants. That's it.
Rockney, are you a member yet?
Will be soon. Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rockney. Been in Charlotte for probably a little over a year now, working construction here. I've been coming to the Toastmaster meetings for quite some time. I've got to link up with Jamie before the end of the meeting so I can finalize some membership dues. So looking forward to that and looking forward to tonight's meeting. So, and the main reason why I joined is for personal development, personal growth, and also professional growth as well. So to speak better in front of audiences and different people. So
All right, let's give it up one more time for our guests. I was giving Rockney a little bit of a hard time because I've seen him so much. He's basically like a member now. But just so you all know, you are welcome to come here as much as you want as guests. There are no obligations to join, but we'd love to talk with you about the benefits of joining if that's something that you want to do. So this is a judgment-free space. There may be a point. Will there be a point in tonight's meeting? Because I know it's a unique meeting. Will there be a point in tonight's meeting where the guests can participate? Yes. Okay. Normally that's the case. I just wanted to double check because, again, this is the contest meeting. So if you're so inclined, there will be that opportunity for our guests. This is a judgment-free space. It's okay to mess up in here. So one of our members loves to say, you come here to sweat and practice so you don't bleed in battle. So with that, let's have an awesome meeting. Thanks for coming out. Mr. President.
Thank you, Colin. And Colin did say there are many benefits of joining our group, and he was very modest not to say that one of the best benefits is you get to see him every week. So I'm just saying that's something to think about. We are about to start the process for our contest this evening. Before we do that, I just want to see if any of our members don't have anything they're doing. The second part of our meeting, we need a grammarian. So if you're here and you're not involved in anything, the contest, and you want to do grammarian, no? Okay, gotcha. Alex, you want to do grammarian? Okay, good. That went well. All right, so yeah, everybody's doing something. That's okay. So I did want to explain for our guests that everybody who comes up here has a role that we'll usually explain to you. And we take turns each week signing up for these roles. It gives every member an opportunity to really do everything that is involved in our club. And so you'll see some of that here tonight. We're going to hold our table topics contest, and table topics is a impromptu speaking opportunity, which we have to do many different occasions in life. And so one of the sections each week in our meetings, people come up here, they're asked a question. They don't know the question ahead of time. They have to answer the question. What's different tonight is because we have a contest, each person you'll see come up at the beginning of the meeting will get the same question. And then later during the meeting, we'll have another section where we do table topics again, like we normally do. And that's where, as a guest, if you want to participate, you can. So I have to do something now called a contestant briefing. My role tonight is Toastmaster of the evening, means I'm coordinating the meeting. And then I'm also the chair for our contest, and you'll hear other people who come up here who have different roles. As I said, they'll explain them. So For our contestants, we have to define the speaking areas. The speaking area is the front section of the room where I'm standing and where Colin was standing. When you give your response, each response needs to be a minimum of 1 minute and no longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The timing feedback is over here. Yasmin, could you just identify yourself and just hold up the card so people can see where you're sitting? And I know you know this, but I have to go through this because we're doing a contest this evening. And a green card gets held up when you've spoken for a minute, yellow 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes. And in order to qualify for the contest, you have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute and no longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If you don't meet those criteria, unfortunately, you are disqualified. Other reasons for disqualification: if you give your response and more than 25% is not your original content, then you get disqualified. You can quote people or identify sources, but you have to identify them as being sources when you give your answer. In between each contestant, we'll have 1 minute of silence so that the judges could complete their balance. And when the contest is completed, the ballot counters will collect the ballots from the judges, and they will recuse themselves to a private room to count the ballots. When we start the contest, if you're not up here answering the question, you have to be sequestered. And who's our sergeant at arms for the contest? Jackie. So she'll take you, you know where to go. There's a room at the back there. Close the door. And you can't take your cell phones with you, so you can leave them on your table. At the end of the contest, we will identify a third place winner, a second place winner, and a first place winner. And the first and possibly the second place winner advance to the next level contest. A protest can be lodged by a contestant or one of the judges. And there are 3 criteria to lodge a protest. One is if you think somebody is not eligible. We've confirmed that everybody participating is eligible. The second is if they do not follow the originality criteria that I mentioned before. And the third is if a speaker identifies another contestant or refers to another contestant when they're giving their answer. So you can't do that. That's grounds for disqualification, or it could be, if you do that, it could be protested. I think that's all I had to share with everybody. Do you have any questions? We have to draw the order of the speakers. No questions from our participants. So if you're participating in the speech contest, please come forward. Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, could we please have another big round of applause for our 3 members who will be participating. All right. What? All for table topics. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Only table topics. Okay. Just draw a number. There's actually 4 in there, but we'll just go, in sequence. Yeah. Okay. What are your numbers? 3, 1, 4. Okay. So Bill will go first, Cameron second, and Momito will go third. Can somebody just write those down for me, please, David? Okay. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, you can all be seated. And now I will be handing the microphone over to our Table Topics Toastmaster, who will be running the Table Topics contest. And can you please join me in giving a strong, warm welcome? Just remember what I said, a strong, warm welcome to our Toastmaster who will be running the contest, Toastmaster Jamie.
Thank you, Toastmaster Eric. Welcome to Queen City Toastmasters Table Topics Contest. So I am the treasurer of Queen City Toastmasters. I will also be facilitating our Table Topics contest this evening. I have a couple of additional things that I have to do in my formal duties of facilitating tonight's contest. So let me start with our contest chair, Mr. Contest Chair, who's talking in the back with the judge, Eric. Have all the contestants been briefed, and are all the contestants present, and are we ready to proceed with the contest? Awesome. And our chief judge, have all the contestant officials been briefed, and are we ready to proceed with the contest? There you go. That's it. Now we will move on to the contest itself. For my timer, can I please get a notification of 1 minute after we get through our first speaker? And at this point, our sergeant at arms, we can take all of our contestants to the waiting area, except for the first speaker, which is Bill, and he can be in our staging area. So follow, yes, please. Follow to the waiting area. All right, Bill, never mind. You can stay here. They say the staging area. Close enough. All right, Bill. Oh, wait, Eric, now I'm getting another signal. All set? All right. Well, please join me in welcoming our first contestant, Toastmaster Bill Fountain. All right, the format of how I'll read the question, I will introduce you, then I will read the table topics question, then I will read the table topics question again, and then I will provide your name again. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so Toastmaster Bill Fountain, what is a piece of advice that you would share with a new Toastmaster on their public speaking journey? What is a piece of advice that you would share with a new Toastmaster on their public speaking journey? Bill Fountain.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. One of the things I think you need from an advice wise is to relax. And that's not an easy thing to do, because you had this, remember, you hear all that attention that was going into about reading the rules and doing these type of things. Those are type of things that are in a way intimidating, right? So if you think about that, so that would be one of the first things I think would be advice, is not to essentially try to relax, even though your heart may be beating louder, or louder, yes, you maybe even hear it in your eardrums. And there's other pieces of advice. Is there a preparation for this? I don't think so. I think a part of that thing is probably is courage, is to take the chance to stand up there and maybe have a flub or something. But that's something I think is courage is a part of that advice that I think I would have. So those two of the things that I think they're important. One is that courage, and the other thing is to try to relax. Think about things that are fun for you. For instance, like me, is flying airplanes. That's a fun thing for me. And running. I run sprints. So those are some things that I would keep in my mind way back in the back. So thank you for the opportunity to be able to answer that question, and y'all have a great day. Thank you.
You can stay here. Yes, all of our contestants, once they have delivered their table topics, can stay in the audience. So another round of applause for Bill Fountain. All right, I now need a minute for our Sergeant at Arms to get the next contestant. Welcome, Toastmaster Cameron Hamrick. All right, Cameron, I will provide your name, ask the table topics question, then ask the table topics question again, and then provide your name one more time. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Excellent. Cameron Hamrick, what is a piece of advice that you would share with a new Toastmaster on their public speaking journey? What is a piece of advice that you would share with a new Toastmaster on their public speaking journey? Cameron Hamrick.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, and welcome honored guests and fellow Toastmasters. The question was, piece of advice would I give a new Toastmaster? I would probably start with telling them why I started. Once upon a time, I gave a presentation and it didn't go so well, and I was humiliated. I started Toastmasters the next week. Everybody in this room came here for a reason. You either had an experience like that where you felt embarrassed or humiliated or lack of self-confidence, whatever the reason was, it brought you here tonight. I heard a quote. I'm trying to get into the laundromat business for those of you who don't know me. And Luke Williford is a famous laundromat owner in the Raleigh area. He owns 40 laundromats with his brother. And he has a sign that hangs behind his desk that says, "The biggest gap in the world is the difference between knowing and doing." In other words, take action. If you come here every week, don't matter how many times you come to this meeting, if you're always just sitting there and you're not participating, you're not doing table topics, you're not giving speeches, you're not signing up to be a member, you're only ever going to get out of this club what you put into it. So if you want to get a lot out of this club, you're going to have to put a lot of effort into it. My piece of advice would be that the biggest gap in the world is the difference between knowing and doing. Take action today. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Let's have another round of applause for Toastmaster Cameron. All right, and then we'll keep a timer and we'll bring out our last contestant. We don't need a full minute, but. All right, please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Mumita Banerjee. All right, Toastmaster Mumita, I'm going to provide your name, then I will read the question, then I will read the question again, and then I will provide your name again. You ready? Okay. Mumita Banerjee, your question is, what is a piece of advice that you would share with a new Toastmaster on their public speaking journey? What is a piece of advice that you would share with a new Toastmaster on their public speaking journey? Mumita Banerjee.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. Good evening, Toastmaster and dear guests. I would say, like, as the question suggests, like a piece of advice that I would try to give to the fellow Toastmasters is like, have fun. That because if we stress out on how we are going to talk about or how other people will perceive it, we'll have the pressure of not enjoying what we are trying to achieve over here, having a clarity of what actually we want to achieve from the time that we are investing in this session, and having a clarity and a goal, and also making it fun. Definitely in Toastmaster, what I've seen, we all have the same kind of goal and frequency, and we are all almost like-minded. So it helps, and moreover, it is on the weekdays, so it's a break from what we generally do, and it's a community-based club, so the topics and everything is so diversified. We get a lot of inputs, insight of different areas of life. So yeah, that is my piece of advice. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Mumita. All right, those are our three contestants. At this point, can we collect all the ballots? And judges, if you can please hold up your ballots when you're complete, and we'll send around. Who's the ballot? Oh, Elvis is picking up the ballots. That's we need a little more time. Okay. All right, it looks like our judges are ready as they are sequestered. It's kind of like a pope. When you see the white smoke, you'll know we're done. Just kidding. All right, so we are going to occupy a little bit of time while we wait for our judges to deliberate. And that means I would love to invite back our 3 contestants for a bit of an interview. Think of this as like the behind the scenes during the Academy Awards. We're just kind of chatting people up on the side while we wait for the big results and the envelopes. So please join me in order, Cameron, Bill, and Mumita. And we'll just have a little friendly Q&A. We're going to leverage some of the information that you shared in your bios a little bit earlier. So Bill, you already mentioned this in your table topics. You are an avid flyer and pilot. What do you fly today? What is your plane of choice or any device that?
Choice is the airplane I used to fly was the F-4 Phantom, which was a awesome airplane, twice the speed of sound. It would launch all kinds of different missiles, just a great airplane. But today I fly with the Civil Air Patrol, flying both Cessna 182s and Cessna 172s. And I occasionally rent a Citabri and a Champ out at Monroe. These are tail draggers, and the tail dragger means that most of the time you have an airplane that has a tricycle gear, the front gear and then the 2 mains. A tail dragger is that you get 2 mains and the tail wheel is on the very bottom. So the airplane sits like this on the ground. And it has directional control is a very difficult thing with those. And not only that, but what's neat about these planes is that they're a fabric. In other words, they're not, hard wings. So it's a fabric. So you could actually, if you wished, you could punch a hole in it. And you can still have the gas and stuff in it. And you could actually spin them. In other words, where you actually go into a spin and go round and around. So it's a blast. For an old guy like me, it's awesome.
All right. Thank you. No, it's great. All right, Mumita, you indicated that you like to meditate. What is your preferred form of meditation?
It's pranayam. Preferred form is pranayam. It's like inhale and exhale. So inhale, hold it, and then exhale, and just put some music early hours in the morning or before going to bed. So that is, yeah.
What kind of music?
I mean, I don't know, mostly Indian music, like instrumental with tabla and do you know tabla? It's like sitar.
Ravi, what's the famous sitar player that played with the Beatles? That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, sitar, tabla. So those kind of Indian instrumental song. Yeah.
Cameron, I've got a question for you. Have you been in is this your first contest?
No.
What is another contest that, not table topics, or not Toastmasters? What's another contest that you've been in? You can go back all the way to your childhood.
Well, I was going to say Toastmasters. I did a humor speech contest way a long time ago.
No, I want a funnier one than that.
Oh.
Than the humorous contest.
Well, let me see. I'm trying to think here. This is kind of like this. Yeah, that should have been your table topics question. I would have bombed it because now I'm drawing a blank here. No, I didn't. What you think I'm a big pie eater? I'm trying to lose a few pounds, Jamie. My gosh. I don't know. I did play baseball, but the only thing I won was a cast on my right arm when I got broke. That was one of the most humiliated I've ever been, actually, talking about baseball. We had tryouts for JV in high school. And the coach said he was going to post the results of who made the team on a certain wall in the high school. That's a very populated area. So I had to walk up to this list, and all the good studs who you knew were going to make the team are standing around chatting. I had to walk, excuse me, walk up. Yeah, my name's not up there, and had to do the walk of shame. And that's one of the most humiliated I've ever been in my life. So didn't win that one either, but I won my wife over that. There you go. That was the best thing I ever won. So
very good. Looks like we have a little bit more time, so we'll move on and get to know Bill a little bit better. You also mentioned writing is a hobby.
Yes.
So share a little bit more about the type of writing that you do.
Well, I put together a set of, I call it a trilogy, the Chris and Colleen thrillers. And it's about it starts off where this young couple, these kids are in high school, and they're in Rome on a high school trip. In fact, it was kind of about the same time that I did this many years ago. And they snuck out of they were going into the catacombs, and they snuck out to go someplace and smooch. And they were in this shrubbery, and they're hidden in their smooching. And then they observed this guy getting murdered. And then all of a sudden, these people, they heard some, a gasp. And then the bad guys said, oh, we got somebody over here observing us. And so they started chasing them. And the story goes, they chased them all around Rome. They chased them all the way down to Pompeii. And they left there, and they somehow got out of that country and went to France. And they were chased all through France and ended up in England, that's where their parents were living. And they still were chased around there, but can't tell you the end. So, and then the other thing is that I recently I just got through writing my memoirs for my education days or my school days and my 20 years in the Air Force. And a lot of it, because my kids kept asking me, tell us your war stories. And usually, guys who've been in the war don't really relate their war stories except to other people who have been in combat. But I said, okay, I started writing that, and that's what I did, and I just put that out. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we ready yet, Elvis, or do we have time for some more questions? Almost. Okay, we'll keep going. Mumita, another interest that you shared was system learning, how to design and code systems. So I guess my question for you is, what is the best programming language? Because there can only be one right answer, right?
There are many, and it depends on the interest. For me, it's like system design, like how the systems get scaled up. For example, when Uber was small, or for example, when Amazon was handling a small volume, at that time the design was different. but when we create a design, we create with the future plan, like how it is going to scale up. So that part is interesting for me, like with number of clicks on a website. With that, we can do mathematical calculation and create a plan like for 3 years, how we can scale up, how the servers or how like how many servers would be there, database would be there. So those kind, it's interesting actually.
It sounds very interesting. I wish I had that level of precision in my work, that you could just follow a calculation, build something that you were then had confidence and was ready for whatever the future brought. That sounds awesome. I was going to say Python, but I'm not a programmer. I just like the way it sounds. All right, Cameron, we didn't give you an easy one, so now we'll give you an easy one. What is a hobby that you have that you want to share with the group?
By the way, I took C++ in college, and my grade was the same as the name of the course. So, a hobby that I like. I was telling Jamie before the meeting started how I had recently had COVID and I lost my taste and smell, and that was the worst part of it for me, was losing 40% of my senses. How's this answering the question? Here's how it's answering the question. Because one of my greatest hobbies is barbecuing. I've got a big green egg that I invested a lot of money into. And on top of that, I build big green egg tables on the side for friends and family and whoever else wants them. I've got several of them floating around Charlotte here. If you ever run across them, you're not going to know it's mine, but just it's a good looking table. But I've built probably 15 of them. It's all spread around here around Charlotte. That's my biggest hobby. I like to cook Boston butts. I like to cook a brisket, even though I've really haven't perfected that one yet. And it's hard because they're so expensive. A brisket's like 85, 90, $100, depending on where you get it. So it's a pretty expensive mistake when you don't cook one right. But it just dumbfounded me how much you appreciate your senses until you lose them. How much I enjoyed the taste of the food, the cooking of it, the enjoyment of it. And when that's taken away from you, it sucks. So anyway, long-winded answer to my favorite hobby is probably cooking. And then secondly is golf. Third is, I'm not going to talk about Dallas Cowboys because they just got embarrassed on national TV, but I've invested thousands of dollars into that lousy football team. And yeah, so there you go.
I think you have the potential for a contest, though, a barbecue contest. Maybe you should be entering. Where was that answer earlier?
I got second place one time. I'll get third tonight, probably.
All right. Well, last question. I'll ask all of you the same question then. Hopefully it's the last question. What are you going to do with your Table Topics contest winnings? Who knows how much it could be? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. What are you going to do with those winnings?
Shopping. Okay. First, I'll go for shopping. Second, I'll go around and travel, maybe book tickets and travel. That's it. Rest, I'll save it.
What stores are you going to go to?
Macy's.
Okay.
Yeah, that the one at and I don't know, Sharon's Park.
South Park?
Yeah, South Park Mall. I'll go over there.
Just live it up. Excellent. All right, Cameron, same question.
If I won $100,000, the first thing that I would do would be to go to our bulldog of a treasurer, Jamie Richardson, and I would pay for my dues about 3 years in advance. That way he'd never have to hound dog me ever again. Second thing I would do is use whatever was left over and take my wife out to a great dinner, buy my son some overpriced toy that he's going to play with for 10 minutes before he loses interest. And then whatever's left over, I will put it towards my laundromat.
I need some plumbing work done.
Colonoscopy?
No, plumbing work in my house. So I would think I would focus getting that done. And we just had a dishwasher's being replaced. So the age of the houses and things like that, those things have a certain lifespan. And so I think I started plowing some money back into making some improvements in that way, in the way of the house. And of course, I'd use part of that money and go out and rent airplanes to go out and fly again. And I think that'd be about it. I don't think I'd buy another car because I'm happy with the car I'm at right now. I may try a new roof on. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Shall we check on our judges?
They're in there having a card game.
Yeah, we can go to audience participation.
Yes. So the second time I had, So the second time I had COVID, which was last Christmas, I lost them for 10 days. And yeah, that was the most miserable part about the whole thing. This past time, I actually had it this Christmas. I lost my taste and smell for 2 days, which was bad enough. We went out for a couple beers at a brewery, and I enjoyed the effects of the beer, but I couldn't enjoy the taste of the beer because it wasn't there. My wife has a coworker that has been a year and a half and still hasn't gotten hers back, and she's lost like 40 pounds. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for asking. I did get it back.
All right, let's hear it again for all of our contestants. All right, and the judges have completed their deliberation? All right, can you please hand me the results? All right, Queen City Toastmasters, the results from our 2024 Table Topics contest. Our third place winner, Mumita Banerjee. We have a certificate. Our second place winner, Bill Fountain. And that means our first place winner for 2024 at Queen City Toastmasters Table Topics Contest is Cameron Hamrick.
That is fine Sharpie and everything. I'm gonna have to get this framed and put in the office.
All right, that concludes our Table Topics contest. We will be able to send 2 participants to the area contest next. So please continue to keep a close eye on our contestants, and hopefully we will see Queen City prevail in the next round. I will now turn it back to our presiding officer, sort of our Toastmaster of the day. Yes, excellent. All right.
Big hand for Jamie for doing an outstanding job, guys. And thank you to all of our participants. And so we're going to shift gears a little bit for our guests. This is a little bit more like the traditional meeting that you're going to see for the next few minutes. And we always have people who help us run all of our meetings. Yasmin, who's our timer, did not get a chance to come up and just briefly explain the timer's role, why we have a timer. And we have one more speech tonight, so maybe you can just explain how you're going to use the card. So please join me in welcoming Yasmin, who's going to be the timer for the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Dr. Laxer. So today I am going to be the timer. This role is really just to make sure that we're staying on track, especially for a meeting like today, where it's a little bit different than usual. For our timed speeches, our speakers will have 5 to 7 minutes. I will hold up a green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes to let them know where they are. Are we doing table topics again? Are the regular ones? Okay, for table topics, speakers will have 1 to 2 minutes. I'll hold up the green card at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes to let you know how much time you have. And then finally, we will have our speech evaluators who will have 2 to 3 minutes to speak, and I will hold up the the green card at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and the red card at 3 minutes. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Yasmin. I'd like to now call upon our next person who's helping with this part of the meeting. Please join me in welcoming, are you ready? Our grammarian who will explain that role to you, Toastmaster Jackie. Who stepped in at the last minute when I went up and said, could you be the grammarian, please?
Hello, everyone. I am the grammarian tonight, and that means I'll be judging your filler words. Filler words are so, and like is one of my favorites. You get the gist. And then I will also be giving you the word of the day, and that is tertiary. We just had a sales kickoff for my company, and I feel like every person kept saying this word. So it was the first word that popped up in my mind tonight. So we are going to try to use that as much as we can for those guests tonight. And it means third in summary, right? Feel free to Google it. My internet wasn't working, but that's what it means. So thank you, and looking forward to everyone's speeches tonight.
Thank you, Jackie. Excellent choice. The purpose of the word of the day is to encourage us to learn new words and also to use the new words. So every time you hear somebody say tertiary, what we do is we knock on the table. The next section of our meeting is what we call our formal speeches. And please join me in giving a warm welcome to our speaker for this part of the meeting, who will be speaking on a speech that he's working on for the speech contest, which is a different contest. And the title of his speech is Fanfare for the Common Public Servant. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Colin. The excitement of the unknown.
Attention, everyone. I have a job opportunity for you. Intrigued? Listen up. This job requires working outside in the elements, from July afternoons so ruthlessly hot that the street can melt the soles off your boots, to frigid January mornings, where you might find yourself working up to your waist in icy cold water. The ideal candidate is someone not easily offended by the smell of human waste or the way that it feels if it's unexpectedly sprayed on you. The right hire also enjoys talking with strangers and can keep a cool head when some get angry, threatening, or even violent, simply because of what you do and who you work for. Finally, this is the job for you. If you don't mind responding to emergencies in the middle of the night and desperately texting your neighbor the following morning to feed your pets or your kids if you still aren't home. Contest chair, friends, and fellow Toastmasters. I'm guessing none of you would do the job I'm describing unless you were offered a life-changing sum of money. Fortunately for us, though, there are people brave enough to do this work. In the Charlotte, North Carolina Water and Sewer Department, where I'm employed, we call these heroes utility technicians. For their labor and sacrifice, they earn a starting pay of $20 an hour. Barely a living wage to provide a service that, if it didn't exist, would make our community unlivable. Seriously, could you imagine living somewhere you can't sit, brush, wash, or flush in the comfort of your own home? I can't. Yet it's so easy to take these things and the people that make them possible for granted. Even worse, more and more people are spreading harmful misinformation and discontent about the public institutions we all rely on for essential services, stigmatizing them and the people that work there. Now, I'm not a utility technician, but I recently went with a crew of my utility technician colleagues to a broken water main in a Charlotte neighborhood. We arrived, set up our equipment, but then had to wait for the local gas company to mark their buried gas lines so we wouldn't accidentally hit one and blow up half the street. Waiting for gas companies to do this is required by law and can be frustratingly slow. But safety comes first, and the only thing we can do is wait. Shortly into this waiting game, a man came out of one of the nearby houses and began yelling at us. "Get to work! We're not paying you to stand around." That was the PG version, by the way. A few of us walked over to calmly explain the situation, but he wasn't having any of it. He said it was a typical example of government laziness and that he'd be calling his city council person to complain. Eventually, the gas company did arrive, and we were able to start digging down to assess the damage to the water pipe. We estimated it would take about 3 to 4 hours to fix. So some of us went door to door to update residents and apologize for the inconvenience. At one home, a woman answered, and her response was, "I don't care how long it takes. We don't drink the tap water here. I read it can cause birth defects and transmit AIDS." My colleague and I politely explained to her that her concerns were misguided and that the water we provide is more strictly regulated, treated, and tested than any type of bottled water or anything else you can buy in the local grocery store. She wasn't convinced, so we left her with a pamphlet of safety information and moved on to the next house. For most of my colleagues, public interactions like these are a weekly, if not daily occurrence. We'd like to believe most Charlotte residents aren't this misinformed and unhappy with the services we provide, but it's hard to tell because we hear so much more of the negative than the positive. To be clear, it's okay to be critical of your government. We all have a right to free speech after all. But it's important to remember that real people, many of whom actually live in your community, are the ones treating your water and dealing with what you flush down the toilet. We're seeing more and more employees leave our organization and fewer people applying to replace them. Not just because it's hard, ugly work that pays less than many other trades, but because they're tired of being abused by a public that doesn't really understand what it takes to deliver these modern conveniences. My challenge to all of you, regardless of where you live, is to educate yourselves about the services you pay for through your water bill and local taxes. Be curious. There is a wealth of information published online by government agencies, reputable sources, on their websites, social media, and YouTube channels. Be adventurous. Most cities allow you to go out and tour your local water treatment facility, fire station, landfill, and much, much more. Get out there and see, hear, and smell these things for yourself. Finally, vote. Only 15% of Charlotte residents voted in the 2023 local election. If you are lawfully allowed to vote where you live and you choose not to, you have no right to criticize your government or the services it provides. My friends, if we can all commit to these 3 things, then you will always have utility technicians making sure what you drink doesn't kill you and what you flush down doesn't come back up. Contest chair.
Much respect for you, Colin, and the people you work with. Very well done. Don't mind me, I'm okay. Thank you. So we just had a table topics contest, but normally during our meetings, we take a few minutes and we have a table topics section. And so we're going to give people in the room, even if you're a guest, an opportunity to see what it's like to come up here and answer questions. So I'm going to ask Jamie to come back up to the front. Please join me in giving him a warm round of applause.
Okay. Yes, I'm back. This is your chance to start practicing for the 2025 Table Topics Contest. Just 1 year from now, you have 50 meetings to start your Table Topics journey. All right. I'm going to have everyone back, including guests. Raise your hand if you would like to volunteer. It's going to be the same thing, 1 to 2 minutes. Our timer will be still providing you some indicators about the time. You can go over a little bit. And so that's it. Who's my first intrepid volunteer? Newt, sorry, Rockney. I want to say Newt. I'm sorry. You must get it. All right, Rockney, your question. What is a big decision that you are preparing to make in 2024?
A big decision I'm preparing to make in 2024. Oh, yes. I am going to get some things in order financially. What I mean by that, I've got some goals set financially. So when it comes to that, it would be improving my credit score for one. It got jacked up because I was unemployed a few years ago, but I'm working to get that built back up. Then also too, I have a financial savings plan, personal savings plan. It's financial. So my goal is to try to save, I think, $10,000 set aside for all of 2024 from my current employment. So, and then with that money, I plan to diversify. So I plan to have some in some stocks, some mutual funds, and different little startups I've been researching online. And also, there's a group of us, a group of gentlemen, 3 other guys that we plan on making some business transactions as well, as far as, business ideas, brainstorming, getting together, and then also exchanging information as far as how to improve our credit and do different things in the community as well. So, but primarily it's financial. So.
Thank you, Rockney. And you have the distinction of being our quaternary table topics participant, not tertiary, but close. Do we have another volunteer? Sorry, remind me of your name. Ruben, welcome, Ruben. All right. Your question, what would your dream job be? But if you're already doing it, good for you. What do you love about it if you're already doing it?
Well, probably a dream job of mine would be to be a therapist for other people. I think I love listening to other people, and I feel like therapy is a wonderful space to allow me to do that. And it's a pretty rare, it's fairly rare for us to be able to talk about deep topics with even our closest family members. But in therapy, that's what everyone is there for. And I really enjoy having deep conversations with other people, strangers or friends. That's why I think being a therapist would be a really wonderful job to have.
Thank you, Ruben. I find that Toastmasters is a great place to share. I learn interesting things about people here all the time. It's not therapy, but form, a sort. I think we have time for one more. Tavares. All right, your question. If you could relive one moment in your life, not change it, but relive it and re-experience it, all of it, what would that moment be?
The moment I would relive and re-experience was the Korean body scrub I just got this past weekend. Oh my God. The lady that did it, first of all, kudos to anybody who has ever had a Korean body scrub. It's amazing. Changed my life. They rubbed my hair. I mean, the lady scrubbed my arm. It hurt at first, right? Because it felt like she had sandpaper on my arm, right? But after a while, I started to feel it. And what they were actually doing is, as they were rubbing my arm, they were actually creating circulation throughout my body. And as she did it and she scrubbed off, she said, feel the skin. And I actually felt the rolls of the dead skin coming off my body. Not only did I feel like a king at that moment, being pampered, but I also felt rejuvenated. It's funny how I go to sleep at night and I don't realize how my body is always recycling itself. And this Korean body scrub was the most amazing thing to me because it just changed the way that I thought about how I wanted to deal with my health. And not just the outside, but the inside. So the Korean body scrub was actually an example of me cleaning my inside, changing the way I think in order to change the way I live. So the Korean body scrub, I would never change it because it was like an hour. And they put you in this like a warm room first, a steam room second, and then it's like, get on the table. And I'm just like, okay, all right, let's do this, right? So I get on the table and it's just, they pour the hot water on you, they scrub you down. It actually just, again, if you've never had a Korean body scrub, I suggest you try it one time. I promise. It was amazing.
Thank you, Tavares. I think we have our field trip for Toastmasters now. All right, that concludes our table topics. I will now hand it back for our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, everybody. We all learn by doing, and we also all learn by feedback. The next section of our meeting involves giving feedback to some of the people who you've seen up here. To lead that part of the meeting, please join me in welcoming our previous president, who's now our club growth director in our district, Toastmaster David Jones.
Thank you, Eric. As general evaluator, I will evaluate the meeting as a whole. But first, we're going to have an evaluator evaluate the speaker. And that's the good part about Toastmasters, is when you give a speech, you have one of your peers give you feedback, room for improvement, things you did well. And we're going to have Toastmaster Graham evaluate Colin's speech. Which was a fun speech to evaluate, so we should have fun.
Thanks, David. Everybody, I'm Graham. And Colin, yeah, you know, you're kind of camouflaged back there. Need some brighter colors next time. It's good to know I'm actually reviewing you this time. And to start with, I thought it was really impressive that you took something that could be a very mundane topic, like explaining or talking about utilities, and making it feel like we were watching a Michael Bay movie with your imagery and your language. And I noticed initially, and I had heard, I was reading something and it was discussing utilizing pauses in communication. And that's something we might not think about as much, especially if you're nervous, like I might be right now, but utilizing strategic pauses to emphasize certain parts of your language and your points. I know it's something you mentioned, but I think you do that really well. So when I listen to your speeches, that's something I can learn from. And also the point of your language is very eloquent. You use a lot of strong imagery. I think that really draws people in to your speeches and makes them more engaging. Like you were talking about one of your customer experiences, and you're, you know, using pretty much all 5 senses to describe what that was. So it's almost like we were there. And you went from kind of an entertaining, kind of bombastic intro to the main message, core message of your speech, of kind of the critical value of utilities that we often overlook. Like we don't think about all these amazing modern conveniences that our ancestors would have thought would be miracles back in the day, and made us all reflect and think on that. And I think that's what a good speech does. It can make you think about things in a certain way or value things in a new light. And kind of combining that with the story function, I thought was really effective. And I thought you had a solid call to action at the end of either new career paths for anybody in here, or looking for new fun things to do on the weekend, like going to tour your local sewage facilities. So I might have a new first date idea or something for that. The VIP tour treatment back there. And, you know, your speech was very challenging to think of any suggestions because I thought it was really good. And you left with your primary, secondary, and tertiary points. Your three. Had to find a way to get that in there. But yeah, I think the only suggestion, and that may because I missed it at the beginning, but be clear on what the purpose of the speech is. Even though it was really good, I didn't know if you were just trying to explain it or get us to do something. But nonetheless, amazing speech like usual. Great to learn from. Thank you.
Sir. All right, so Graham's speech is what we call a sandwich approach, where he starts with the positives. He had a few room for improvement areas and then finished up with a positive. I think room for improvement would have been, he could have had a little bit more energy. I don't know. I think this is a low energy guy tonight, but no. But overall, the meeting was great. We have 30 people, I believe, in attendance and 12 guests. So that's great. We got to introduce all the guests. And even though we had a speech contest and a speaker and table topics, we're pretty close to being on time. But with that, I'm going to be quiet so we can get out of here on time. And I'll turn it back over to our timer and then my grammarian.
Thank you. So I am just going to go over everyone's times for the speeches today. Colin, you came in at 6 minutes and 23 seconds. I always have to mentally prepare for your speeches when I see your name on the agenda because one, I know we're in for a treat, but two, I know I'm going to be slightly traumatized. I still have nightmares about the fact that most of our drinking water comes from Lake Norman. So thank you for that tidbit of information. Yes. Rockney, you came in at 1 minute and 24 seconds. Ruben, you came in at 1 minute and 1 second. And then our tertiary table topic speaker, Tavares, you came in at 1 minute and 49 seconds. And then finally, Graham, you came in at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric, for the point. I'm usually the pointer, like don't forget that. Then I'm going to turn over to Jackie, our grammarian, and see how we did tonight. Thanks. Hurricanes, jeez. There you go.
Okay, I want to give a big shout out to Colin for using 0 filler words that I heard. So awesome job. And you had the longest speech. Rodney, didn't hear a lot of filler words, but really popped out to me. Ruben, you said a few ums. Tavares, we had a few ums. Graham, a couple of ums. David also had a no filler streak. And Yasmin, you had a couple of ums, but you made it up by saying the word of the day, tertiary. Graham also used tertiary, and my tertiary subject, Jamie, also used it. And now I used it. But great meeting overall, guys. Thank you for having me as a grammarian today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jackie. And now I will turn it over to our presiding officer, Eric Laxer. Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, David, and everyone else who gave feedback. We're running a little bit late. It's a reputation we have here, but I feel there's been so much good energy. I do want to give our guests an opportunity to just share a few words, and usually you can just give us some feedback about your experience here. And I'm going to give the mic back to our VP of membership, Colin, and he will come around with the mic one more time.
Thank you very much, Eric. Do we have a great meeting tonight? Yeah. It didn't sound like it based on that response. Yes. Do we have a great meeting tonight? Yeah. All right. All right. There was some serious guest throwdown tonight. Seriously. That table topic slapped. Ruben slapped. That was awesome. First timers getting up here and doing that. That's what dreams are made of right there. We're going to go in reverse order. Just tell us what you thought about the meeting. Certainly encourage everyone to come back and see a normal meeting as well.
Yeah, so I enjoyed my first Toastmasters meeting, learned quite a bit from not only the guests, but these speakers, and learned a lot more than I expected to. So I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
All right, Rockney, last guest debrief as a guest before you become a member.
I really enjoyed tonight's meeting. Very good on your speech. Did very well. And also I can take some things that I did correctly and incorrectly and try to make improvements myself. So I feel it was very productive. So.
You always speak clean. You're always very clean.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maya. This is something I've put on the back burner for a long, long time. So I'm really excited to be here. It's very informative and very amusing also. So that was really exciting. So I would like to hopefully come back and possibly join and maybe participate.
So much.
I'm Tavares. Thank you again, guys, for allowing me to be here tonight. I enjoyed it. Again, my thing is just getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better. Rinse, wash, repeat. Thanks for having me.
You didn't tell the people where they get this body scrub at. Where'd you get yours at?
I got it in West Hartford, Connecticut. Wait, let me say this. Listen, let me also say this. Do not go to a bougie one. You got to go to the hole in the wall one, because the bougie one misses what the hole in the wall. And that's the real people. That's all I got.
Where's it live by?
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Ebony. I feel like I lucked up on tonight. It was a really good night. It was inspiring to hear the different presentations, and I love the energy and engagement. So definitely glad I was able to join tonight.
I'm Ruben again, and I really appreciate that I was allowed, even as a guest, first time to be able to speak. So thank you for letting us do that.
We'll settle your bill afterwards. Don't worry.
Hey everyone, it's Hassan. I like the session. This is my second time coming here. I'm definitely going to make it more of a priority to come more and hopefully improve. But overall, really good. I can learn a lot from being here. But it was pretty good.
All right, let's hear from our two high-flying businessmen.
Once again, I'm Micah. Thank you guys for the opportunity to come and share this time with you guys. You did a great job. I just want to tell you, listening to you all speak is helping me become more conscientious of filler words. And so pauses are things that I'm picking up that are important to help with alleviating that. So thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm Wes Wright again. Filler word. Thank you guys for having me here. I appreciate you. Thank you to all my fellow newbies who are here with me. What I got out of this is just an opportunity to really see how it is, guys. It's been something I've been putting off for a while too. Just wanted to come here and see what the environment was like. I like it here, so hopefully we can come back and I can compete with you.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. All right, last but not least, Mr. Rigo. Love to hear your thoughts about tonight, sir.
Tonight, it's like the worst group of people I've ever met in my life. I had a terrible time. I hope never to come back. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like half a pimp, But yeah, I've been cooped up since the operation, so it's been nice to come out, meet some cool people, hear some good stories. She's asking me to come back. I don't know. I'll see how I feel about it. But I enjoyed it. That was a good speech you gave, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So, any questions for me?
There.
Well, I put it off for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And then I went back into electrical work the last 4 years. a year and a half ago doing some work and just pretty much finished it off. So I went in and
Finished off your arm?
the shoulder.
Okay.
He's just one of those people, like I come over, he has like an excavator in the backyard, like he's always doing
Yeah, one of those guys.
All right.
Yeah.
You burying cash or burying bodies?
It depends which section of the yard we're talking about.
You asked a lot of
But
questions.
yeah.
You call your gas company before you do that digging?
811. I call 811. I dial 811 all the time. I know where not to dig.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where I put all the dead bodies.
Yeah.
Thank you for meeting.
And I'm so sorry. I forgot one of our great guests over here with hair that matches the color of my shirt. Would you please tell us your thoughts on the meeting?
Whenever I heard, they told me that tonight wasn't going to be a normal night. It was going to be like the speeches. I thought, oh, that's a really good reason to not go, to just push it off yet another week because it's not a normal night anyway. But I'm really glad that everyone did a really great job and it was fun. It was very well organized, and a lot of spaces say that there are like no judgment zones, but I really felt that tonight, that there really isn't judgment and everyone's just in a safe space. So I thought it was really great.
I'm sorry. Oh, crap. I just skipped this whole table. I'm sorry. Bring us home.
Okay. I'm Ashley again. Nice to see you all. I'm just very impressed by everyone that spoke tonight. You guys did a phenomenal job, whether you were planned speeches or table topics or just doing a part of the meeting. It was really entertaining and you all did great. Thank you.
Jamie, get the membership paperwork ready. All right. Yep. I know we're thin on time. I just want to say again to our guests, come back as much as you like. We see a lot of people develop an interest in this club. They burn bright, but some of them burn fast. Life has its seasons. This is a no judgment zone. If this isn't the club for you, there's dozens of other ones in Charlotte. But I have seen, and I know that some of my more seasoned members have seen, when somebody comes here twice a month, that's every other week, for 6 months, they are a different person at the end of 6 months. So give it a whirl. If you think this is for you, try to stick with it for the long run. If things come up, bend but don't break, go down to 1 time a month. If you really like it, you want to invest more, you want to accelerate some of those returns, come 3 times a month, 4 times a month. So, but as guests, you're welcome to come back as much as you want to test drive this club. Encourage you to go check out other clubs as well. And we hope to see you again.
Thank you, Colin. We are running a little bit late. I want to thank everybody who helped make tonight's meeting possible. Some in this room. We also have one of our members, Vanessa, who's online. So thank you, Vanessa, if you could hear me. And then I also want to extend a big thank you to Jamie for doing a great job as our contest Toastmaster. And also a big round of applause for Elvis, who was our chief judge tonight and made sure the meeting ran smoothly. Are there any announcements or comments from any of our members? Andrea? Thank you, Andrea. If there is no other business for this evening, I would like to call tonight's meeting officially to a close. Thank you, everyone.